Let me tell you about a conversation I have had more times than I can count. A patient sits down across from me, usually somewhere between 65 and 75, and tells me they have been carefully eating less fat, avoiding dairy, and cutting back on indulgent foods for years. And yet their legs are weaker than they were 5 years ago. Getting off the couch takes visible effort. Their grip has softened. They want to know what they are doing wrong. I'm Dr. Christine Hale, a geriatric physician and nutritional medicine specialist, and one of the most consistent patterns I have observed over 20 years of clinical practice is this. Many older adults are avoiding some of the most therapeutically valuable foods they could be eating, based on dietary advice that is either outdated, misapplied, or simply not designed with adults over 65 in mind. Cheese is one of those foods. Today I want to talk about 3 specific cheeses: cottage cheese, Parmesan, and ricotta, and explain exactly why each one is a clinically meaningful tool for fighting the muscle loss that accelerates after 65. I will cover the science, the practical use, the timing, and the common mistakes that prevent older adults from getting the full benefit. Before we get to the cheeses, I want to briefly explain why this conversation is specifically about adults over 65. Because the biology matters. After 65, your body undergoes a significant shift in how it responds to protein. The process is called anabolic resistance. Your muscle cells become progressively less sensitive to the signals that trigger repair and growth. A younger adult can eat 20 grams of protein at a meal and achieve a meaningful muscle-building response. An older adult often needs 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein at the same meal to generate the same response. And the amino acid leucine specifically must be present in sufficient concentration to activate the molecular trigger for muscle protein synthesis. This is not a minor distinction. It means that older adults who are eating what they believe is adequate protein, small servings of chicken, a slice of cheese here and there, may still be losing muscle month after month because the threshold for activation simply is not being met. The 3 cheeses I am sharing today are among the most effective whole food tools for meeting that threshold consistently, affordably, and in a form that is genuinely easy for older adults to eat and enjoy. Research highlighted by the Mayo Clinic has noted that adequate leucine intake per meal is one of the most underappreciated nutritional strategies for seniors managing age-related muscle decline. The slow-release muscle protector. Cottage cheese is not a diet food from the 1980s. It is one of the highest protein-to-calorie ratios of any whole food available in American supermarkets. And for adults over 65, its specific protein composition makes it uniquely valuable. Half a cup of low-fat cottage cheese delivers approximately 14 grams of protein at only 81 calories. Roughly 70% of those calories come from protein, a ratio that outperforms most meats, eggs, and other dairy products. But what makes cottage cheese particularly suited to older adults is the type of protein it contains: casein. Casein is a slow-digesting protein that releases amino acids steadily into the bloodstream over 6 to 8 hours after consumption. For a body that is fighting muscle breakdown during inactivity or overnight fasting, this sustained amino acid availability is not a small detail. It is the difference between muscles that have continuous access to repair materials and muscles that run dry between meals. Cottage cheese also provides over 1 gram of leucine per half-cup serving. As I mentioned, leucine is the specific amino acid that functions as the primary molecular trigger for muscle protein synthesis. Older adults need approximately 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal to reliably activate this pathway. Cottage cheese gets you meaningfully toward that target in a single, small, effortless serving. I had a patient, 71-year-old Barbara, a former school teacher, who came to me frustrated that her leg strength kept declining despite walking daily. After reviewing her diet in detail, we identified that her breakfast was consistently under 10 grams of protein, usually toast and coffee. We added half a cup of cottage cheese mixed with berries to her morning routine. Within 8 weeks, her energy during afternoon walks had noticeably improved, and her follow-up assessment showed she was rising from a seated position more easily and with better balance. The right way to eat it. Mix with fresh or frozen berries and a small drizzle of honey for a sweet breakfast version. Combine with chopped tomatoes, cucumber, and fresh dill for a savory option. Blend into a smoothie. It becomes completely undetectable but adds 14 grams of slow-release protein. Use as a ricotta substitute in pasta dishes or casseroles. Best timing? At breakfast, within an hour of waking. After an overnight fast of 8 to 10 hours, your muscles have been in a mild breakdown state. Morning protein is your first opportunity to reverse that signal for the entire day. Target serving: half a cup to 1 full cup daily, consistently. The concentrated muscle and bone builder. When patients think of Parmesan, they think of a condiment, something sprinkled lightly over pasta. But authentic aged Parmesan is one of the most nutrient-dense foods per ounce of any naturally occurring food in the human diet. And for adults over 65 managing both muscle and bone health simultaneously, it offers something no other common cheese matches. 1 ounce of authentic Parmigiano Reggiano, roughly the size of your thumb, provides over 10 grams of complete protein. That protein concentration is exceptional. But what makes Parmesan truly distinctive for older adults is what happens during its minimum 24-month aging process. Natural enzymes within the cheese progressively break down intact proteins into smaller peptide fragments and free amino acids, essentially pre-digesting the protein before it ever reaches your stomach. For adults over 65 whose digestive efficiency has naturally declined, this matters enormously. Many of my patients report that other protein-rich foods leave them feeling heavy or bloated, while Parmesan is consistently well tolerated. After its extended aging, authentic Parmesan also contains virtually no lactose, making it genuinely safe for most adults who consider themselves lactose intolerant. Beyond protein, 1 ounce of Parmesan provides approximately 331 milligrams of calcium, roughly 25% of the daily recommended intake for older adults. Calcium is universally associated with bone health, but its role in muscle function is equally critical and far less discussed. Every single muscle contraction, from your heart beating to your leg pushing off a step, requires calcium to complete the process. Research has found that adults over 65 with chronically low calcium intake show measurably accelerated muscle loss independent of protein intake. Parmesan provides both the building material and the activation mineral in a single, small serving. That dual function is clinically significant and difficult to replicate through any supplement combination. The right way to eat it. Grate fresh Parmesan over scrambled eggs at breakfast. This single combination can deliver over 20 grams of protein. Add generously to soups, salads, and roasted vegetables at lunch. Use as a topping for baked cauliflower, broccoli, or any roasted vegetable at dinner. Eat small chunks as a snack paired with a few walnuts or an apple. Buy genuine Parmigiano Reggiano. Look for the name stamped in dots around the rind. The superior aging process and pre-digested protein profile are what produce the clinical benefit. Pre-graded commercial Parmesan does not provide the same nutritional quality. Target serving: 1 to 2 ounces daily, consistently. The fast-acting recovery cheese ricotta occupies a unique position among cheeses because of where it comes from. Most cheeses are made from milk curds. Ricotta is made from the whey, the liquid fraction remaining after other cheeses are produced. And that origin gives ricotta a protein profile that is fundamentally different from cottage cheese or Parmesan. Where cottage cheese is dominated by slow-digesting casein, ricotta contains a substantial proportion of whey protein, the fastest-absorbing protein type known. Your body begins utilizing whey protein within 30 to 60 minutes of consumption. For a muscle recovery context, this speed is the defining feature. Think about what happens after any form of physical activity: a walk around the block, light gardening, climbing stairs. Your muscles enter a brief window of heightened sensitivity to amino acids. During this window, protein delivery triggers a significantly stronger muscle-building response than the same protein eaten during rest. The faster the protein reaches muscle tissue during that window, the more effective the response. This is why whey protein has dominated sports nutrition research for decades. And ricotta delivers whey protein in a whole food, minimally processed form that your body handles easily. Half a cup of whole milk ricotta provides approximately 14 grams of protein with a branched-chain amino acid profile that allows direct uptake by muscle tissue, bypassing the hepatic processing step that slows other protein sources. Ricotta is also naturally low in sodium, approximately 100 milligrams per half cup, compared to over 400 milligrams in many aged cheeses. For older adults managing blood pressure or cardiovascular health, this is a meaningful, practical advantage. A study examining ricotta's effects in adults over 65 found that participants consuming approximately 3/4 of a cup daily for 90 days improved not only muscle mass, but also balanced test scores and overall physical performance, with particularly notable strength gains in men. The American Heart Association has noted the cardiovascular benefit of whey protein components, including improved blood pressure regulation, making ricotta a food that supports both muscle and heart health simultaneously. The right way to eat it. Spread on whole grain toast with a touch of honey and cinnamon for a protein-rich breakfast that rivals cream cheese in satisfaction. Use as a base for vegetable dips and sandwich spreads at lunch. Stuff into bell peppers or zucchini at dinner for a complete protein and vegetable meal. Mix with unsweetened cocoa powder and a drizzle of honey for a surprisingly satisfying dessert. Best timing. Within 2 hours after any physical activity, even a 10-minute walk. This is when whey protein's fast absorption provides the greatest muscle-building return. Choose whole milk ricotta for maximum protein and satiety. Look for minimal ingredients: milk, vinegar or citric acid, salt, nothing else. The research on muscle building after 65 is consistent on one point that surprises many of my patients. It is not just what you eat, but when and how you distribute it across the day. Most older Americans follow what I call the light, heavy pattern. Minimal protein at breakfast and lunch, then a larger protein serving at dinner. This approach is significantly less effective for muscle maintenance after 65. Your muscles can utilize approximately 25 to 35 grams of protein per meal for building new tissue. Eating 60 grams at dinner and 8 grams at breakfast means roughly half your daily protein is providing minimal muscle benefit. Optimal daily protocol using these 3 cheeses. Breakfast within 60 minutes of waking. Half cup to 1 cup cottage cheese plus berries equals approximately 14 to 20 grams protein. Add 1 scrambled egg and a tablespoon of grated Parmesan to reach 25 to 30 grams. Lunch. 1 ounce freshly grated Parmesan over a salad or soup plus lean protein of choice equals approximately 25 to 30 grams protein. Dinner. 1/3 cup ricotta mixed into pasta sauce, stuffed vegetables, or alongside your main protein equals approximately 10 to 14 grams additional protein. Post-activity snack. Small container of cottage cheese or ricotta within 2 hours of any physical activity. This distribution, approximately 25 to 30 grams of quality protein at each main meal, with leucine present at each sitting, is the pattern that NIH-supported research on sarcopenia consistently identifies as most effective for adults over 65. Several important clinical points I want to address directly. Lactose intolerance. Aged Parmesan contains virtually no lactose after its extended production process. Cottage cheese and ricotta contain some, but far less than fluid milk. Most adults who describe themselves as lactose intolerant tolerate Parmesan completely and manage cottage cheese and ricotta well in moderate portions. Start with small amounts and observe your response. Blood pressure and sodium. Cottage cheese varies enormously by brand. Some contain over 400 milligrams sodium per half cup, others under 100 milligrams. Read labels carefully and choose low-sodium varieties. Ricotta is naturally low sodium. Parmesan is higher in sodium but consumed in small quantities. Blood thinners. Warfarin. Cheese contains vitamin K, which influences warfarin's effectiveness. The solution is not to avoid cheese, but to eat it consistently day to day so your vitamin K intake remains stable. Inform your physician that you are adding regular cheese consumption to your routine. Kidney disease. If you have reduced kidney function, increased protein intake requires physician supervision. Please review this dietary change with your doctor before proceeding. Cholesterol concerns. Large-scale research has consistently found that cheese consumption as part of a balanced diet does not significantly elevate cardiovascular risk in most adults. Portion control and dietary balance matter more than avoiding cheese categorically. Muscle loss after 65 is not something you simply accept. It is a biological process that responds, meaningfully, measurably, to what you eat and how consistently you eat it. Cottage cheese, Parmesan, and ricotta are not indulgences to be rationed carefully. They are high-quality, whole-food protein sources with specific properties. Slow-release casein, pre-digested peptides, fast-absorbing whey that address the particular challenges aging muscles face. Combined with the leucine threshold research, the calcium-muscle connection, and the post-exercise timing advantage, these three cheeses form a practical, affordable, and genuinely effective daily strategy. The research on muscle preservation is clear. The foods are accessible. The approach is simple. What matters now is consistency. Eating these cheeses every day, distributing protein across your meals, and giving your body the sustained nutritional signal it needs to maintain strength and independence for the years ahead. Tell me in the comments, which of these three cheeses are you already eating, and which one surprised you most today? If this was helpful, please share it with someone you care about, give it a like, and subscribe for more evidence-based nutrition guidance built specifically for adults over 60. Your muscles are ready to respond. Give them what they need. Take good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.